くるみ割り人形のセットや衣装の相談をするためにディックさんの家に伺ったのは2011年のことでしたよね。その時のことを覚えてますか？
You came straight away with this idea that the first act would be set not in Clara's house, not in the rich house, but outside in a German Christmas market. It took a while to think about what that could possibly mean. So we're very interesting and very with this unusual idea, this strange idea which I couldn't imagine. Where did you get the idea from?
主人公のクララをもっと身近な存在にしたくて、家の中で大きなパーティーができる設定から離れたかったんです。考えていたらドイツで訪ねたクリスマスマーケットを思い出しました。様々な人が訪れて買い物をしたり人形劇を見たり、家族がみんなで楽しめる場所でした。マーケットのお店が6つありますよね。あれを決めたのは確かディックさんと2人で話をして決めたんでしたっけ？
Detail of the market, for example, and what would be in the market and what the stalls would sell. I remember we had a beer stall, necessary in a German market, and a sausage stall to sell Wurst sausage, Stollen, of course, candy, and of course the really important stall was the nut stall. I thought it was such a good idea because normally the Nutcracker, I think a lot of people today don't even know what a Nutcracker is. And we had a stall that sells it has a lot of Nutcrackers that you can buy. I remember also what impressed me was that you wanted to make it a more general, a more open world that everybody was part of, everybody could relate to. Instead of a warm house with all the poor people outside, this took the story out into the streets where you could meet everybody, whatever their social status or their class. So we've been looking on the stage at this little cart, and in it we can just see a puppet show happening with these puppets and so on. The big theatre with 1,500 people. That's a long way to look. And so we've been seeing these little puppets and this little bit of scenery. I love when Clara goes into the puppet theatre. Suddenly she finds herself, she goes through a red curtain, which is the most theatrical thing you can do, and finds herself on the other side of the curtain. And suddenly all the scenery, she's behind the scenery, has become huge, and then the dolls are there and they come to life and she's the same size as the dolls. You had this idea that you had seen street performers, I think,
yes.
Who had made this fascinating system where one performer has a dummy on the front and a dummy on the back.
実はあの人形をバレエに登場させるにはちょっと勇気が必要だったんですよ。
Really? We were lucky because we were working with the great prop maker Robert Alsop. I would go to his workshop and watch his assistants with pipes and tape and developing the idea, which came out so beautifully, I think, in the end. It's just extraordinary. And the dance you've done with it is just great.
おかげさまでお客さんにも喜んでもらえています。よかったです。次は雪のシーン、
Yes.
ね、まず僕がすっごく雪をいっぱい降らしたいからって言って、
Yes, I remember that a lot of snow. A lot of snow. And this made me, for the scenery, think in a way the shapes, all the shapes that you see on stage are just made with snow. So you have a line of forest, trees disappearing into the distance. But of course, there are no trees. There's only the snow sitting on them. Yes, then Minoru wanted something very unconventional with the costumes, something that was expressive of the movement of the snow, that really had the sense of the movement and the flurry and all of that. Yes, in development with our costume makers, there's really interesting costumes of hoops that make the dancers are able to just throw themselves around like snowflakes. It's really kinetic, really beautiful.
人形の王国、人形の国にその主人公のクララが夢の中に行くわけですよね。で、人形の国って言ったら何が人形のお城があるのかなって言ってたら、あ、それは人形の家だからドールハウスだろっていうふうに言ってくれたのがディックさんだったんですよ。
I think that in that part of the design, I was trying to make a world where you could understand why all these nationalities would be grouped together in this crazy little doll's house. So the set, of course, at that point is full of different expressions of the nationalities, the Russians, the Arabs, the Chinese, and all these small aspects on the stage. As backgrounds. And then this sort of story, we thought, well, what if then she goes off with these puppets that she's rescued from the mouse, the rat king, to this land where the puppets are reunited with the other puppets they've left behind. So the dances then become not just a sort of an abstract idea of a celebration, but actually become the reuniting of and the celebration of a sort of reunion of these characters.
最後にクララは自分にとって一番大切な場所を思い出します。
But it's been so nice, in fact, because I know you watch your Nutcracker every year, Christmas. I haven't seen it for a long time, so I looked at I looked at some of the pictures before we had this conversation. It's a lovely show. It made me really happy to see it again.